So, I just wanted to come on here to take a few minutes to to laugh at all of the ridiculous lives that I saw. And just all the ego. There's a lot of ego. And a lot of people that are like, I don't know, just seeking some false sense of validation. And it's really cringy. It's very cringy. Yeah. I was flipping through the lives earlier, and I was just thinking to myself, like, what the fuck? I don't know. It seems like some people are, I don't know, so desperate to stand out that they are willing to, what am I trying to say? Willing to go to ridiculous lengths to do things to get attention on some of these social media platforms. Like, I saw this one person who, like, I mean, this is not talent, this is not creative, this is just, you're a dumb basic bitch and you don't have a talent, so this is what you I guess this is what you're doing out of desperation. But this one person that, like, wrote everybody's names all over their face, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? That is not talent. That's not creativity. That's desperation. So, yeah. Which comes from ego. A lot of things come from ego, but I'm just saying, like, I saw stuff like that, and then it's like, then, okay, like, I walked in partway through this one live, and I am, like, almost positive. It was like, oh, it was so weird. This guy thought that he was talking to, this guy thought that he was talking to, I think he thought he was talking to somebody, like, maybe his age. Or someone that was older. And then all of a sudden, like, the person in the chat was like, oh my God, this was so bad. They were like, I'm supposed to be sleeping right now. And then it was just so obvious and hilarious how the energy switched, because it was like just so cringe. So cringe. But yeah, there's a lot of lives that I was flipping through where I was just like, what the hell? I don't know, just a lot of ego. A lot of ego and a lot of, like, humans needing to prove some type of point or seek some type of validation, Not everybody, but it's like, that's what it's kind of become, is like this this cesspool of, what the hell? The way that car just pulled out, that's weird. That was weird. But yeah. It's just become ridiculous. Some of the shit that people are doing on these lives. It's really dumb. That is weird, I swear to God. So yeah. Yeah, just the desperation for validation and all of that. It was just an observation I made. I just thought it was kind of crazy. People, doing things to alter themselves to get attention versus just being themselves. That's a lot of what I'm seeing. The whole concept is just dumb to me. Hi, but here I am. But it's dumb. I think it's kind of... Humans are just... I don't even know. Weird. Weird group of people. I mean, weird group of individuals. Yeah, I don't know. Just grosses me out. Most humans do. Yeah, because a lot of people are just unawakened blobs, just unawakened blobs. Especially if they're American. It's kind of embarrassing. Really cool unawakened blobs. I was going to say bobs. Yep. If you flip through the lives right now, you'll find a bunch of really cool unawakened blobs of human beings. It's really cool. So yeah, it's really sweet. Yeah, like, share, subscribe, and follow. I'm just making fun of it, you know? It's really dumb. Who cares? Literally, who cares? So, I mean, I've kind of figured out why, like, kind of how the law of attraction works, sort of, and like energy, in the sense that it's very, well, how do I put it into words? Like, I'm starting to see how subconscious, energetic trauma patterns can then translate into more subtle things that you do or say or accept that then essentially tells the universe, yes, I want this in my life, or no, I don't. And so you have to get very disciplined, and because it is very tedious. So it's like you have to do a lot of healing, but then you have to break the pattern, which means not engaging with it on any level, not engaging in that trauma pattern in any way, shape, or form. Which means that's why the healing work is important, so that you can recognize, well, first off, you have to get people out of your life who, what's the word for it? Provoke that pattern within you, or, they have that same repetitive pattern within themselves, unless you or them, or I'm sorry, unless you or both of you are willing to heal it, but otherwise, what happens is that if you keep people who have that same pattern, or who feed that same trauma pattern within you, that's carries a certain energy to it. So that's why it's so important to set boundaries, or go, no contact or low contact if you need to, if you are immersed in a dynamic, like a family dynamic, that's super dysfunctional, or repeating these trauma patterns. Because the issue is that every time you go around those people, those patterns are getting replayed. And even if you've healed them within yourself and you're not replaying them, what's eventually going to happen is that well, eventually you're going to have no choice but to get away from those people, because you're going to become so aware of the pattern, and you're going to become so above the pattern that your boundaries are not going to allow you to maintain that pattern in your life, or allow others to continue to try to engage with you in that pattern. That's why boundaries are important, because the boundaries tell the universe, not only do they tell other people, fuck off, or whatever it is, or I'm not going to repeat the same pattern within you, but they also tell the universe, yeah, I don't want this shit. So I'm not going to keep repeating this, and furthermore, I'm not going to keep going around people who are trying to repeat this pattern with me. Either they can get on my level or get the fuck away from me, and most people don't. I mean, a lot of people can't heal to rise up to those higher levels, and so therefore they need to be left behind. So essentially, the law of attraction works like that. You have to heal the patterns within yourself first, and then recognize the pattern outside of yourself, so that if or when it ever comes your way again, you don't engage with it, or you set boundaries. Like this tarot reader that I follow says, it's not that like healthier people don't come across dysfunctional people, it's just that they have healthier boundaries, and so therefore those people can only get so far. So that's how you attract what you want that's healthy and functional, is setting boundaries and saying no to what is not healthy and functional. And you have to be consistent with it too. Because if you're not consistent with it, then again, you're sending a mixed energy signal to the universe. So you've really got to be on your shit. And so that's why it's important to heal it within yourself, so that you don't keep repeating those same patterns when they come along in other people and trigger your subconscious. Or, over time, you'll heal enough, or if you do a lot of healing, like I've done, for example, like you can heal enough to where those patterns don't really get triggered, but, well, yeah, where they don't really get triggered. And so that's where you get to a point where it's like you just disengage with that pattern, or that person that's repeating that pattern. And then that sends the message to the universe that, no, I don't want that. I want something higher vibrational. I want something healthier, because that's what you're engaging in yourself. Like, you're not engaging in those lower vibrational energetic patterns or frequencies or trauma patterns anymore. You're vibrating higher than that, and so therefore you're sending the signal energetically, like I said, to the universe, that doesn't align with my frequency, and therefore the only other option is for the universe to send you what does, which is higher vibrational, higher frequency. So yeah, that's how it works. And the higher frequency, or the higher the frequency that you tap into, you'll also find that people, like, I'm thinking about family, like people in your family or whatever, anybody that you used to engage with on a lower vibrational level will kind of just slowly fade or become distant anyway, because they're not able to match you where you're at. So, but you've got to heal, you know, abandonment wounds. You've got to heal rejection wounds. You got to heal some of those deeper core wounds in order to get to that place where that stuff just doesn't really doesn't pull you down into that lower vibrational energy and get you entangled back into that pattern. And if you've done enough healing, you will get to a place where that just happens naturally. That's why it's important to heal, because when you heal, you really do have, what am I trying to say? When you heal, nobody can, it's like you have the power over you, you know what I mean? Because you've healed all of those emotional wounds, and so therefore nobody can sway you, nobody can manipulate you, nobody can try to pull you down onto their, you know, into or onto their level, because those triggers don't exist anymore. And if those triggers don't exist anymore, then there is no influence. And that's why it's important to heal them, because that's when you truly become resilient and unfuckable with. Genuinely. So yeah. And when you're clear and you're consistent and you're committed to that, and you're committed to yourself, and you're committed to what you know you deserve, which is only connecting with people who are willing to meet you on your level, the universe will act accordingly. So that's why a lot of people will say, why do I keep attracting? And it's like, because you haven't genuinely healed. Or fully. Maybe not fully. And it requires a lot of hard work and dedication. It requires doing a lot of things on your own when you're by yourself. To get to the bottom of what's underneath all of those traumas and the wounding, which is you. Which you is not even real, but I mean like your true temperament or your true identity. So that's why, I mean, that's where all of the suffering comes from. That's why most people are not happy. It's because they're not fully at peace with and one with themselves, grounded in themselves, truly knowing who they are through and through. Most people do not know that. about themselves. Most people don't know themselves like that. They don't. Which is why you see all these fucking weirdos on these weird ass fucking YouTube lives drawing all over their face to get likes and sleeping and weird ass fucking shit. Yeah, because they have no true identity. They have no true sense of self. So all they have is ego and desperation. And then there's the people that think that they have a skill. And then they come on here and it's like, oh, boy. So it's just, there's a lot of people who think they know or think, I don't know. But yeah, all I'm saying is really comes down to figuring out who you are instead of just, and that's the other thing, just doing and being what society kind of influences, which I mean, that's big now. It's like, yeah, get on social media, but some of these people need to first figure out who the fuck they are and what their actual talents and strengths are. Because writing people's names all over your face is not a strength. It's a waste of time. So yeah, discernment is important too. And recognizing your purpose. There's just a lot of lost people, and yeah. But that's really how you keep from repeating, keep from continuing to attract the same people. It's like you have to change yourself. You can only attract that which vibrates on the same level as you, and otherwise it's just not going to happen. So stop expecting the universe to send you someone functional when you are not healed on the inside. It just doesn't work that way. Sorry, peeps. But yeah, it's like I stress that so much because I always say this, people come to tarot readings and they want to know about the love, but your love situation is fucked up because what's going on internally is fucked up, probably. And that's what needs to be fixed. Not the relationship. You. You need to fix yourself first. Or allow that other person to fix themselves. But if they're really fucked up, then you have to figure out, why is it that I attracted somebody that fucked up? And it's not just bad luck. It's probably because you grew up in some type of pattern that's similar to the one that this person in front of you is emulating. And when you fix that within yourself, it's easy to spot and easy to dismiss. Oh, you're manipulative as fuck. Okay, have a good day. I mean, and it gets even easier than that, to where it's like you don't even have to acknowledge it. It's just like internally. Just like, okay, this person's not functional. So I'm going to quietly, remove myself from this conversation or whatever it might be. yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that, I mean, that statement's not entirely true that I was about to say. Because, I mean, there are some people out there that are super manipulative and that will, be manipulating you and you don't even realize that they're doing it. So that is one part of this where it's like, okay, psychopaths or, situations like that, sometimes it is very hard to tell, and it doesn't matter like how healed you are, like in a circumstance like that, for example. But if you're talking about like narcissism or narcissistic dynamics or any other like dysfunctional like addiction, things like that, that stuff you can heal from the after effects of growing up in dynamics like that and be able to recognize it, you know. And there's ways that you can learn the signs of, like, I don't know, psychopaths. I mean, with psychopaths, it's energy. The energy is probably going to be the biggest thing because they're like dead on the inside. So I mean, the biggest red flag there is going to be, I would almost say, the lack of anxiety and fear that you will probably sense from them or notice from them. It's almost like they're so confident it's not, it's like that will be a red flag, if that makes sense. So it's not confidence in and of itself that would be a red flag, but it would be like, you know how like just humans, normal everyday humans, they get nervous on a first date, or they get nervous in front of, that's normal, and you can kind of tell that in body language or people's facial expressions. But with the psychopath, you're not going to get that because they're not nervous. They don't experience that. And it's kind of obvious to tell, especially if you're dealing with a younger psychopath, in my experience. Because, I mean, it's just, you just know something's off. And there's something weird about their eyes. And for me, just pay attention to how your body feels around people. If your body freezes for some reason, or you feel really, really nervous, and you notice the person is like just smooth as a cucumber, it's kind of like, it's weird. So just pay attention to dynamics. Observe people. Let people talk. Don't do all the talking. Let people talk. Ask questions. Don't answer lots of questions. Ask lots of questions. Don't tell a person all about you. Especially if you're a female. You're supposed to be interviewing them, not the other fucking way around. And that's one way manipulative people get in too. They try to get you real comfortable real quick. Don't let them. You get comfortable in the sense that you take control and you ask the questions. Knowledge is power. And the more you know about a person, the less of a threat they are. So you take the reins and you learn everything you can about that person, not the other way around. If you're a female, I would say specifically. I mean, that's how I do it. It's like, if someone asks me a question, well, what about you? Blah, 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 blah. I put it back on the other person. Because I figure somebody who is honest and doesn't have anything to hide won't mind talking. And they won't mind answering a lot of questions. And if they do, in my opinion, it's a red flag. Unless they just have a boundary and they're like, nah, I don't really want to go there. That's kind of personal. But if they're like shady about it, or they are like, it's like pulling teeth, or it's like only giving little bits of information, it's like, okay. Yeah. And I'd say don't allow people right off the bat at all to kind of get you in a more vulnerable position than them. Yeah. Yeah. Also, if someone's like over enthusiastic, overly excited, overly like super charismatic, just over the top about shit, to me, that's also a red flag. It's like, you could just be really thirsty, or you have to ask the question, why are you this thirsty? What do you want from me? You just have to be more strategic about it. And not give people the benefit of the doubt, and not be afraid to not give people the benefit of the doubt. This is what helped me over time, is recognizing, you know what? Your motherfucking feelings are not more important than my life and my safety, bitch. So I don't give a fuck if I hurt your feelings. At least I'll be alive. That's what I started to realize. Like, wait. I'm putting this random fucking person's feelings before like my safety, before like, you know, whatever, because I'm trying to be polite, or I'm trying to fuck being polite. You don't owe anybody politeness. Like, what? Unless it's like, are we at work? Like, no, I'm sorry, bitch. It's not my job to be professional or cordial towards you if I don't know you. I don't owe you that. I don't know you. You know? So, yeah. Find your purpose and find your sense of self and your identity, and no one will be able to fuck with you. Once you know who you are, and also just once you've had enough experience in the world, it reminds me of that one poem that talks about, like, I was walking down the street, like, what is that shit about? And like I fell into this I fell into this hole, and then he's like, and then the next day like I something like it was basically talking about how like sometimes there was a point in why I was bringing that up. Like it takes time sometimes to get to that point. It takes experience. Sometimes it takes basically going through shit and making mistakes and going through tough like life experiences to or just life experiences in general to really know yourself more. Because it builds confidence and character and resilience. And it helps you sharpen your own values and your perspectives and your discernment if you utilize the path well, meaning you take time to heal. But like I said, it's not about being perfect, but it is about being different than how you've been and taking different steps than what you've taken if you want to reach the highest version of yourself. And that requires discipline and commitment to yourself. And most people don't know what the fuck that even looks like or where to begin with that. That's why I said healing. That's why I started, on my healing path as soon as I recognized there was a need. I'm like, I'm gonna be fucked if I don't take this into my own hands. And I think that's what a lot of people maybe need to learn how to do more of, is take control of their own life instead of just allowing life to take control of them, essentially, and or thinking that life is just happening to you or, controlling you. It's only if you allow it. And it's about mindset. So the moral of the story is heal and get to know yourself and learn to love yourself and be grounded enough in yourself to be able to stand on your own. And it's hard to advise, necessarily where to begin because it depends on where you are on your path. But therapy is good, but has to be a good therapist. Otherwise, somebody who specializes in whatever it is that you're looking for, but it also requires doing a lot of work on your own, which is like sitting with yourself, sitting with the discomfort of your own emotions, learning to soothe yourself through those, working through abandonment and rejection wounds, setting boundaries, learning to advocate for yourself. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. It is a process. And it's not an easy one, but it is damn worth it. It definitely is. Because the peace that comes from it is just, I don't even have a word for it. It's like, it's just nice, you know. It can be boring sometimes when you're more healed, because life can get a little bit more chill, because you're making better decisions more than likely. If the more healed that you get, your decision making skills should improve if you're healing aspects of yourself. So therefore it might be more boring or whatever, chill or quiet or slow, but that sure as hell beats being in pain and misery and being disconnected from yourself and self-abandoning to please other people and self-abandoning to feed and stroke the egos of dysfunctional or shitty people around you. Yeah, right. No, thank you. Nope. I'm good. It's not my job. It's your job to manage your own ego, and that comes with healing. Yeah. I'm a walking testament that it's possible. So, I don't, as you heal too, you should find that your connections, like for me, like I don't fuck with codependency. I don't fuck with codependent people. I cut people off who are codependent on me. Sorry. No. Just no. Like, no, that's gross. It's not my job, but it's irresponsible on your part, and it's irresponsible on mine to enable it if you're not willing to heal. So, yeah. That's also what happens as you heal, is you hold people accountable and you set boundaries as needed and you keep said boundaries. But yeah, it is important to hold people accountable and commit to that if they're not willing to do it themselves, because again, it's a boundary, and it's all about energy, and the boundaries you do or do not set is what you're telling the universe that you want more of. So part of healing is also learning to understand energy and how that works, and how you are, how you can utilize it in your own life to like get what you want versus getting more of what you don't want. So, yeah. It's a beautiful thing, healing. It is worth the effort that it takes. It's worth it. But it is definitely a process. But I encourage you to keep going with that process.